What we're going to demonstrate today is how to install the dash. These are custom dashboards that are available. Here's one. This has the cutout for the steering wheel, the light switch, and the key ignition. They're all made out of aluminum. It's done with car wrap material on the aluminum, and this here is really durable. This is an example of one of the dashes. Here's another example of a dash. This one has a hole cut out for a gauge. We have different flavors of these. Some are cut out for radios and so on. These go on the golf carts, the Club Cart DS models only. First thing we have to do is remove the steering wheel, and we'll do that first. To do that, you have to remove this nut right here. You have to take a 3/4 inch socket and remove it. Next thing I recommend is getting BP Blaster. You need to spray BP Blaster all in here and let it soak. And fill it up, have a nice puddle in there, turn it around back and forth so it all gets into the cracks, and let it set. Because if you cannot remove the steering wheel by the method I'm going to show you, you're going to have a gear puller to remove it. We're trying to do it without a gear puller. So we got to let this set for about 15 minutes. Okay, what we got to do now, we have a puddle of oil in here, and we surely don't want to hit the bottom of the steering wheel because the oil will go everywhere. So I'm just going to suck up the oil that we sprayed inside so that we don't sling it all over the place. After removing the oil, we're going to take a block of wood. We're going to put the block of wood right at the bottom of the steering wheel, and then we're going to hit it with a hammer. And usually it breaks it off fairly easy. Sometimes you have to keep turning and keep hitting with the hammer until this comes off. If not, you got to use the gear puller. Now the next thing we have to do, this section of the dash has to go away. We're going to take a screw gun, and we're going to remove this screw. I only have 2 screws to be removed. Now at this point you can remove the center part. The only thing we need in this is the key switch and the light switch. So I remove the key switch, and the light switch, I got a brand new one for it because we're putting a brand new body on it, and I have the light switch right here. Now the dash is actually ready to be installed. You can take the dash. The dash slides over the steering column, and the 2 switches can be installed. Here would be the light switch, and the key switch would go here. You drill the holes here. You use rivets or screws. And I'll show you how to do that on the other golf cart that's ready to go. This one here we're rebuilding, putting a new body on, and I figured this would be a good one to demonstrate. The glove compartments here does not have to be removed. But we live in Florida, and considering we live in Florida, we get what they call roaches and bugs. So I prefer to remove them, which we're going to do right now. Okay, now we drilled the rivets out. Usually we're going to try to do it from the inside instead of the outside because yours has a body on it and this doesn't. This is just to show you how it comes out. Now what we usually do is take a crowbar. We take a crowbar and we usually try to put it inside to force the rest of the rivets out. And there they are, popping out. And then it just, you've got to take the front tire off and you just, that's how you remove the glove compartment. We're going to do the other side the same way. Okay, we finished drilling the rivets out. Now you just take a crowbar and put it on the edge and push the glove compartment out. Just like we did before. And you might have to take the tire off if it hits it. If not, you can still work with it. And then you keep working with it until it slides out. There it comes. It's just a little tougher than the other. Then it would come out from the front. So now the glove compartments are totally removed. That procedure you did not have to do. But I like to do it especially if you're installing a radio in this panel. Because if you're putting a radio in, it's easier to get to the wires and everything. So this one's all ready, but I won't be putting this dashboard on until we have the body on. Now this side over here, we already got a new body put on. We got the trim, everything's ready to go for the installation of the dashboard. This one right here, got to take the steering wheel off, which we already had off. This dashboard goes on this unit. So what we have to do first is just to lay the dashboard in, make sure everything matches up. Make sure all the seams matches up and everything. And then we got to determine where we want to put a rivet or screw. And after you determine where you want the rivets or screw, ever which one you want to do, I like rivets myself. We put a piece of tape exactly where we want it. Usually I only put 2 on each side. And then 2 more in the top. Okay. The reason why I put the tape on there is so when we drill the holes for the rivets, we do not damage the lamination that's on the dash. Now what we're going to do, we're going to go over here to the work table. After we got the blue tape already on, that's where we're going to drill our holes. The reason why we put the blue tape is so that when the aluminum goes around in a circle, it doesn't scratch the vinyl. So you don't want it to scratch the vinyl at all. So this is the easiest way of doing it. And got one more. Okay, those are drilled and ready to put onto the golf cart. Now what we're going to do, we're going to put all the wires out here. Slide it over the steering column. Getting ready to install the light switch. Now we're getting ready to install the key switch. The key switch has a flat side, so you got to make sure that you put it in there correctly. Put the dash exactly where you like to have it. Get it in position. Okay. After you get that one drilled, peel the tape off, and then just put the rivet in just to hold it in position. Don't rivet it down yet. And the last screw. Now all rivets fit and everything, so now what we got to do is pull the rivets back out. Next thing we do, we remove the blue tape. Like I said, you got to use the blue tape or tape on this so that you don't damage the laminate, because flinging all that aluminum around with the drill bit really makes a mess. It'll scratch anything. Okay, now the tape's removed. Here's a procedure that's very important. Next thing you do is put the dash back into position. Feel how much play you have here. If you have a lot of play on the bottom, you need to put more silicone. You have to silicone this. If you do not put silicone on it, it will vibrate. And it will very irritating. So you just take it right on the edge, which you can't see. Okay, don't worry about it. Jeez. Then the bottom of the plate too. You make sure you get it right there in the corner. Of the bottom. Just need a little tiny bead on the edge. After you do that, pretty well ready to put it on. So you put it in position, line up all the rivets again, put it back into the hole. Each one. And then take a rivet gun, and the last one. Now just take a paper towel, any silicone that you got on anything, just wipe her down because it's clear. There you are. You just let it set for a few hours until the silicone dries and you're all set and ready. There are a couple points I'd like to explain a little better. The edge of the dashboard, put a small bead of silicone all the way around. The bottom of the dash on the inside of this joint, put a large quantity of silicone all the way along this when you install it in the golf cart. The next thing I want to bring up is right underneath the dashboard here, they have some rivets that went up to the glove compartment. Make sure this whole bottom area here, all the way across, is clean with nothing sticking out, because if something's sticking out, it will hit the bottom of the dashboard and it won't fit correctly. this is the conclusion of the video on how to install the dashboard. I hope this was helpful. So thank you for watching.